22nd will come to order. Roll call, City Clerk.
Commissioner Abraham,
Present.
Commissioner Galt,
Present.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Present.
Commissioner Wilson,
Present.
Mayor Kaler.
Present. We don't have anyone here tonight dedicated for the invocation. Commissioner Abraham, will you do that for me?
I will.
And Commissioner Rhodes, the Pledge of Allegiance.
We bow. Our Father which art in heaven. God, I'd like to thank you for 15 years of having the opportunity to love my dog. And she passed away today. So she doesn't bite. It's her first day, so she doesn't know a lot of folks. Be with us as we conduct ourselves, taking care of the city's business. Grant us wisdom. These things we ask in Yeshua's name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
For which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm just going to break with tradition a minute and give Commissioner Abraham a hug. He's so touchy.
It's all over here. Just
Anybody that's ever lost their best friend understands. City Manager, any additions or deletions?
Yes, Lisa Thompson is unable to be here tonight to make a presentation on item 6B, so I would recommend that that be removed from the agenda and placed back on when Lisa is able to be here.
Okay, thank you. I have a proclamation tonight to read. And to all to whom these presents shall come, whereas the arts in its many forms constitutes an important part of the community, and participation in and enjoyment of the arts can take many forms, including visual arts, fine arts, and performing arts. And whereas Paducah has been active in its support of the arts through the Lower Town Artist Relocation Program, the Paducah School of Art, and the various art agencies and cultural venues. And whereas communities that support the arts and culture not only enhance their quality of life, but also invest in their economic well-being. And whereas the Office of Mayor of Paducah and Yazir Art Center have created a partnership to promote the talents of local artists, and whereas the Mayor's Art Club will allow local artists to display their art for public viewing in the Mayor's office and reception area at City Hall, now therefore I, Gayle Kaler, Mayor of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, in conjunction with the Yazir Art Center, hereby proclaim January 22nd, 2012 as the Mayor's Art Club Day. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Paducah to be affixed this 22nd day of 2013. And I would also like to acknowledge some of the artists that are in the audience tonight, because the arts is not only certainly a quality of life, but also an economic area of the city, certainly. Has been for us since we instituted the Artist Relocation Program. And even before then, art defined us as a community. I have selected 3 people to view the participants of the Mayor's Art Club. We will select 8 people. The art will be hung quarterly in the Mayor's office. And that is Rosemarie Steele and Josh White with the Yazir, and Paul Aho with Paducah School of Art. So these 3 people will be great at selecting the art for the Mayor's Art Club. I'm looking forward to recognizing all of these people at an event when we get the selection done. And then we'll send out a press release each quarter for the new the art that will be hung in the mayor's office from that point on. And next year I hope to launch another element of it to take it a little bit farther in the community. Paul, I know you have entered some things already. I've got your email. It's great. So we've had a pretty good response so far. We've had quite a few that have turned their art in, so I'm excited about it. It's going to be great. Do you have anything to say, Paul?
I'm just excited. This is good. Anything that promotes the arts is great, and let's just do more.
Go with it. Well, thank you all for coming. Commissioner Abraham, will you go on to the minutes?
I move that the reading of the minutes for January 8th and 9th, 2012 City Commission meeting be waived, and that the minutes of said meetings prepared by the city clerk be approved as written.
Second.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. We have several appointments tonight, and I'm going to read an appointment right now that the commissioners really do not vote on, but I do like to read this name out as I appoint Jay Page to the Airport Board. I, Gayle Kaler, pursuant to KRS 183-132, hereby appoint James A. Page II as a member of the Barkley Regional Airport Authority, a Kentucky Air Board, for the term commencing January 1st, 2013, retroactive, and ending December 31st, 2015, to fill the unexpired term of Gayle Kaler. And Jay, I know that you'll do a great job on the airport board. I said I wanted to have more young people on our boards, and you're a great start. So I appreciate you doing. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
No, absolutely. I just appreciate your appointment, and I'll do my best to carry forward the mission of the airport. It's something I've always been very involved in, and sincerely appreciate the appointment.
Thank you. Commissioner Galt does the next one. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, no, you read that first, don't you?
No, you do.
Thank you. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby appoint Bob Wade as a member of the Paducah Planning Commission to replace Peyton Cromwell, whose term has expired. This term will expire August 31st, 2016.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Kaler in appointing Bob Wade as a member of the Paducah Planning Commission.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? You all, we try to put all of their bios in for you before we vote on them. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Whereas upon the recommendation of Mayor Kaler, I move that the Board of Commissioners reappoint Adolphus Jones, Jr. as a member of the Electric Plant Board. This term will expire February 6, 2017. Commissioner Rhodes.
I move the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Kaler in reappointing Adolphus Jones Jr. as a member of the Electric Plant Board.
Second.
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
She's calling you.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Whereas, subject to the approval of the Board of Commissioners, I hereby reappoint Maury McGarvey as a member of the Paducah McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board, which term will expire December 31st, 2015.
I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the action of Mayor Kaler in reappointing Maury McGarvey as a member of the Paducah McCracken County Convention and Visitors Bureau Board.
Second.
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Just want to thank all of these people for serving on these boards. The boards are a real asset to the city of Paducah and the job they do, and it is all volunteers, so we certainly appreciate the time that they take out of their lives to serve Paducah and to help us in so many ways. And Lauren, I'm sorry you missed it, but Jay is now a member of the airport board. We'll move on to motions. Commissioner Abraham.
I move that the following documents and bids be received and filed. Statement of compliance with National Bridge Inspection Standards, bridge posting requirements for Paducah, Memo number 1698, deed of conveyance and deed of correction between the city and GPEDC for 401 Kentucky Avenue Commerce Building, ordinance number 2012-17986, 1 year renewal agreement with Kaler Ready Mix for concrete ready mix for 2013, ordinance number 2011-37795. Contract with Peel and Holland for strategic health risk advisor and strategic benefit placement services, ordinance 2012-1179991. Documents between the city and Midstate Construction Incorporated for Noble Park Pool concession renovation. Bid bond, notice of award, certificate of insurance, performance bond, labor and material payment bond, and agreement.
Second?
Any discussion? City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes?
Okay. I move that a municipal order entitled a municipal order amending sections F, Police Department, G, Fire
No.
Department.
I think it's
That-
mine, actually.
Commissioner Galt,
I'm sorry, Commissioner
Oh.
Rhodes.
My fault.
Commissioner Galt?
Upon the recommendation of the city manager, the Board of Commissioners of the City of Paducah order that the personnel changes on the attached list be approved.
Second.
Cindy?
Yes, Mayor and Commission, before you tonight, we have several actions for your approval. I'm happy to answer any questions.
City Manager, any comments on the,
Well, you know, other than we're happy to fill the vacant deputy electrical inspector position a few weeks ago, and unfortunately, it's open again. So we'll start another recruitment process and hopefully get somebody on board. It's particularly difficult when, you know, from all indications, we had a person that was going to fill that role very commendably. So these things happen from time to time, so we move on.
thank you. Okay, any discussion? Any questions? Okay. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham,
Aye.
Commissioner Galt,
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Mayor Kaler.
Aye. Commissioner Rhodes?
Okay. I move that a municipal order entitled a municipal order amending sections F, Police Department, G, Fire Department, and H, Engineering Public Works Department of the fiscal year 2012-2013 position and pay schedule for the full-time employees of the City of Paducah, Kentucky be adopted.
Second.
Any discussion? Cindy, you want to talk about that?
Yes, this is one of those items that we bring before you 3 or 4 times a year. And between every time we bring this to you, we make a lot of personnel changes, transfers, promotions, hires, and that sort of thing. So this is where the head counts are, the vacancies, and that sort of thing. What you're approving would be reducing by 1 a compost equipment operator. It would also be reducing by 1 a concrete finisher position and adding 1 right-of-way maintenance person. So moving from concrete finisher to right-of-way maintenance gives a little more operational flexibility.
Right?
I think for clarification purposes, you want to give the other half of that compost operator.
Oh, yes, this fall we did a compost operator supervisor promotion, and we back then we added that head to do that with the intention of the next time we came before you to reduce one of the heads, keep the head count neutral there. And so what this is that reduction.
It's some reclassifications. The number of employees remains as it was then.
That's correct. I don't know if that made it any more clear.
Any questions? Good housekeeping, right?
Right.
City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Commissioner Wilson?
I move that a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Mayor to Execute a Lease Renewal Agreement Between the City of Paducah and Commonwealth of Kentucky Housing, Buildings, and Construction Department, HVAC Division, for lease of office space located at 400 South 6th Street," be adopted.
Second?
Any questions or comments on this? All right. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. We'll go into our ordinances adoption. Commissioner Abraham?
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement and all documents necessary to accept funds for a litter abatement grant from the Kentucky Division of Waste Management. This ordinance is summarized as follows. The mayor is hereby authorized to execute an agreement and all documents necessary to obtain a 2013 litter abatement award in the amount of $15,058.68 from the Kentucky Division of Waste Management to supplement the city's existing streetside litter abatement program. This award requires no cash or in-kind match.
Second.
Any questions about this? All right. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Commissioner Galt?
I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the City of Paducah, Kentucky Approving a Memorandum of Agreement by and among the City of Paducah, Kentucky and the Commonwealth Office of Technology's Division of Geographic Information within the Commonwealth of Kentucky's Finance and Administration Cabinet for geographic information system data and aerial photography updates for McCracken and Paducah Geographic Information Systems, and authorizing the mayor to execute said agreement." This ordinance is summarized as follows. The city hereby approves the memorandum of agreement among the city and the Commonwealth Office of Technology's Division of Geographic Information within the Commonwealth of Kentucky's Finance and Administration Cabinet developer for the acquisition of updated countywide color, aerial photography, planimetrics, and LIDAR data. Further, the mayor authorizes to execute the MOA to accomplish the transaction contemplated by the MOA.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? We talked about that last week. Right. City Clerk?
Commissioner Abraham?
Aye.
Commissioner Galt?
Aye.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Kaler?
Aye. Okay, ordinances introduction. Commissioner Rhodes?
Okay. I move that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Authorizing and Directing the Mayor to Execute a Lease Modification Agreement between the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Finance Administration Cabinet, Department of Facilities and Support Services, Division of Real Properties, and the City of Paducah for a lease of property for the development of corrections probation parole located at 400 South 6th Street." This ordinance is summarized as follows. The City of Paducah hereby approves the modifications contained in the Commonwealth of Kentucky Lease Modification Agreement dated December 5th, 2012, PR number 4096, McCracken County for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Departments of Corrections, Probation, and Parole in the City of Paducah for property located at 400 South 6th Street, Paducah, Kentucky. The annual rent is in the amount of $72,093. It will be paid on a quarterly basis. Further, the City of Paducah hereby authorizes the mayor to execute the lease modification agreement.
Second.
Any discussion? Basically increases the square footage for a rent increase of $483.
Very minor.
Right, and next we'll go on to our city manager's report.
Just a couple things. Reminder to the commission that next Tuesday we're having a decision-making workshop from 5 to 8. It'll be in this room, probably in the conference room. Our consultant would like to have a fairly small setting for that because it's fairly hands-on. Several of us attended the Kentucky League of Cities New Officials Workshop last week in Lexington. It was, I think, good for everybody that attended, both the new commissioners and those who've been on for a while, as well as me as relatively new. I was very pleased with the job that the Kentucky League of Cities staff did. It was pretty intense. Somebody asked me how it compares to city manager training, and I said, wow, this was pretty intense. So it was very, very worthwhile, I think, from everybody's point of view. To that end, we're continuing with some orientation activities with our new people, and both Sandra and Alan will be participating both tomorrow and a week from tomorrow in some facilities tours and meetings with some of the directors. So hopefully we'll be getting everybody up to speed. At our workshop a couple of weeks ago, several ideas emerged for commission workshop topics. I'm reviewing that list with respect to timing of when it would be appropriate for things to come forward, depending on how much information needs to be generated and how hot the topic might be. I would mention that we're rolling around close to budget season again, in an inevitable thing every year. Nonetheless, it's been my custom since I've been here to engage the commission in what I call a pre-budget workshop, where we go over some of the major items associated with the budget from a high policy point of view. So that will be one of the workshops we'll be having in the not too distant future. Another thing I want to bring back to you as we kick the project up a notch would be the prospect of a joint fire police administration building. The committee that's working on that is finalizing a RFQ for another stage of feasibility and design, and I think in conjunction with that, I'd like to have members of that committee come back before you and give you a little update on where that's at. So hopefully we'll have that the next meeting or two as well. That's all I have.
Any commissioners' comments tonight? I just want to say that I was glad to be in Lexington last week with each of you all, and we had a good session there. We learned a lot. Still trying to process some of the information. I had not been there since I was first elected to the commission, so I wanted to go back as a newly elected mayor and get a refresher course. I am on the board of directors now for the KLC, so that's going to be an important job that I have for issues that come before the state legislators that are important to cities across the state of Kentucky, and to have that input from our community. Any comments about the meeting?
No, I thought it was very beneficial, especially just to talk to other cities.
Mm-hmm.
Just we met with one community that recycling program, just as if we're going to take that trip tomorrow. Those opportunities don't always come along, so I think it's very beneficial when we meet with other community leaders to find out what they're facing and how they deal with, I hate to say problems, but challenges, opportunities.
I appreciate the opportunity to go and to meet with other people, and especially with the Kentucky League of Cities staff. I think that they're a really well-known, well-respected organization within the state. I know that their lobbying group is very well-respected and received by the state legislature. So it was a great opportunity for us as Paducah to be seen and to be meeting with them as well. Also, I enjoyed the side field trip on our way back. We stopped in Elizabethtown and looked at their sportsplex, which is absolutely unbelievable. So
It really is.
It's just unbelievable. I wish I had had my camera with me to take
And they
pictures.
have, of course, the ability, because they're a fourth-class city, to pay for it with some other funding that we're not allowed to have.
Right, which of course is, second and
Restaurant
third
tax.
class cities are not allowed to do that, and it seems unfair. So anyway, it was very interesting to see what they have done with that source of funding that they are able to have.
Ellen, any comments?
I think y'all have said it all.
And I am happy to say that we met a newly elected commissioner from Murray, and we had dinner with her one night. It was nice to talk with her about Murray and their commission there, and had a good conversation with her about their animal shelter and some of the things that maybe we can do along with the county. I talked with the judge today about how we can have a better facility here and be more effective in the care of our animals. So, you always learn something from other communities and how they do things. So it's good to have that networking.
And Commissioner Abraham, I believe, is headed out on another trip for the same, right?
Yeah, KBC Leo, I'm now like first vice president of that organization, and the first quarterly meeting of the year is in London, Kentucky, on Friday and Saturday. So that's a little bit of a haul up the road. So I'm looking forward to that, though.
What is the organization?
Kentucky Black Caucus of Local Elected Officials.
Right.
And Mr. former Commissioner Coleman was very instrumental in me getting involved in that organization. And I'm so glad he did, because like you said, when you go and you meet with other folks from other elected officials from around the state, those small table discussions, a lot comes out of that. So I'm excited to get this year going.
Great.
I'm glad that I have such a good, proactive team here. It's going to be a very successful few years. So,
You're here.
meeting's adjourned.